Shiv, welcome to the Group X podcast. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Now, there's going to be people out there in this network of Group X that may not have heard of you or may not have met you before. And instead of me doing it, I'm going to ask you to. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on who you are and how you got into the fitness industry?
Well, I'm Shiv. I started in the fitness industry. It was actually the job that found me. So I left school early. I was, my grandparents wouldn't let me stay at home and be a bum, which is what I wanted to do. So, out into the wild world. And I joined the gym, as, a lot of teenagers do, in mental health stuff. And after going for just a couple of weeks, they had a reception role going and said, are you interested? Well, I had nothing else going at that time. I was like, okay. The amazing Paul Murray, he did my interview, could obviously tell I knew nothing about anything, but took a chance on me. I started in reception, and I think literally 3 weeks later, my group fitness manager of the club, Scott Hook, came out, said, hey, do you want to do body step module in 2 days? We've got a free spot and nobody wants it. And I said, oh, what's body step?
I love that. Yes.
It must have just got me on a good day, because I was like, you know what?
Sure.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And so that is literally how it started. I did that module that weekend with Jen Rampling, and I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was mesmerized, fell in love. That was me.
I love that. Everything that you've just said puts a smile on my face, and I'm sure there's a lot of people watching as well that go, you know what, yeah, I gel with that. I understand that completely, because it's that tap on the shoulder to say, hey, you keen on this? You want to give this a shot? And you go, well, why not? Why not give it a shot? But I love the fact that you can look back on that now, where you are in the industry, and also see where your humble beginnings were, and that someone did, as you said, took a chance on you to go, oh, none of that. Your grandparents are going, no, get off the couch.
You need to do something with your life. Yeah.
I love that. That is brilliant. So talk to me about which gym was it at that you first started?
So this was back in Zest days, Zest
Okay.
Health Club. So this is 17 years ago, at Bibra Lake Zest. And that was my first club. Straight away into body step, and then I trained in RPM. I think the very next module that arrived, I was into the RPM, because I was hooked. I was going to do them all, I was in there. And then body combat came next, and I think within a year I trained in the 3 programs.
So I just want to take you back. Take me back to body step. Yep, Scotty said to you, Shiv, do you want to do this? You turn around and you're like, yeah, sure. What? I've got nothing else to lose. Whatever. Let's give this a shot. How was that module for you? Can you talk us through that as a brand newbie to, one, the industry, but also to understanding, I suppose, what group exercise really is? How was that journey for you?
It was incredible. I remember reading the sheet, because I only had 2 days to prepare mentally, because that's, he was like, we need to fill this spot or they won't give us the vouchers again. So I remember reading the thing where it says you need to bring a CD Walkman, and I didn't even have one of those. I thought, oh, is this for real? And this was back when you got the music on the day.
Yep.
So you arrived, you got your kit. So I honestly had no idea what I was going into. I had no time to do a body step class beforehand. I remember getting there. We were just about to do the master class, the very first time doing body step, and the power went out in the whole club. So it wasn't until I think lunchtime that I actually did body step. So I learned a lot of the theory first.
Yeah.
But straight away I was just so captivated by it, and it was so different from anything I'd ever done in my entire life.
Yep.
And the first time I did the class, it was Jen Rampling. She's, I don't know if you've met Jen, but she's just she was body step, and she made it just, I just thought at the end of it, I literally just remember turning to Katie Palmer, who I did it with.
Yep.
Met her for the first time, and I just thought, oh my God, what was that? I loved it. Oh my God. As you are, so keen.
Yep. Yes.
And that whole weekend, I definitely cried on the way home, as you do from a training.
Yeah.
But I'd been bitten by the bug. I wanted to dive so far into Les Mills at that point. I wanted to know what everything was, who everyone was, just every part of it. I was obsessed.
Yeah. You became part of the cult within the
Straight
first.
away. I drank the Kool-Aid on the first minute. Like, I was in.
Yeah, I love it. Look, I think there's a lot of us that have probably been through that same or similar journey with that as well. You know, you rock up to your first module. If you've never done anything before in that space and you walk in and you're blown away, you know, back when I did it back in 2003, we did it's called the hongi, where you do the nose thing.
Yeah, we
with
did
people.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that just blew me away because I was like, wow, there's a bit of culture coming into this that I had no idea. What was this? You know, I was the boy that grew up in Wollongong that, you know, meat and three veg type stuff, you know, it was so plain. It was, even though I'm Italian, it was just a plain old Jane variety down here. And when that came across, it was like, wow, okay, there's something more behind this. There's more than just group exercise. There's more than a group of people standing in a room together or doing something together in a room. There's more to this. And that's what I think sort of deep down grabbed me to go, hey, Tone, yeah, this is where you need to be. You know, there's something there. And it's, yeah, drinking the Kool-Aid, as exactly as you said, is like, yeah, righto, I'm hooked. What's next? Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you don't stop from there. It just,
No.
if you want more and more.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you before we move on to the other programs and also what you're doing now in the industry as well, can you talk me through, and if you can remember it, knowing that it was, you know, 17 odd years ago, your first class you ever taught?
Yes, actually. So this is gonna, you know, I'm a body step presenter. I actually, back in the day when we did the modules for all of the new people listening, you passed as either a resit,
Yep.
a shadow, or a trainee. So once you passed, and you were either able to speak or you weren't. And
Yep.
I passed as a shadow because I was terrified of speaking, and I know every one of my members who listens to this is going to have a big old laugh now because I don't shut up. But so I actually was scared to teach. I was terrified to teach. I loved everything about it. I was just so scared
Yep.
to say anything. And I spent my first class with my beautiful friend Katie Palmer that I met on the training, and
Yep.
we are still friends to this day.
Yep.
And she helped me because she was the more experienced instructor. She had body attack already. So I remember the first class I taught was with her, and it was Get Me Bodied. I remember I did the party step, and I must have practiced it for like 46 hours straight. Like, I was just, I'm going to get this right.
Yep.
And I can just remember the feeling of when I handed back the mic, and you're just like, oh my God, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. The heart rate's racing a million miles an hour before you're putting the mic on and you're like, holy shit, this is real. Yes. Oh, fuck, this is actually happening. Yeah. Cool. And then you get through it. There's a bit of a sigh of relief once it's done, but then you also ride the high for a little bit longer. And I know for me, I sat back down and judged myself so harshly on the whole, like, that was shit, Tony, that was crap, blah, blah, blah. Members come up like, dude, that was amazing. You know, for your first track, you know what? Yeah. Great. Because they can see that look on your face. And especially if they've been participants, and you were participants, well, from where I was anyway, sat in the second row on the bike. They saw me from there to then getting up on stage, and they go through that journey with you. So while there are some members that look and go, oh, God, it's you, get off. You know, there's others that turn around and go, dude, well done. You know what? Awesome. And I'd say that you probably had members in there that maybe would have seen you from reception or whatever it was, that have gone and seen you in there in classes as well and gone, you know what, Shiv? Awesome. Well done.
Absolutely. And so many of them, you know, were that support network of that familiar face or the smiling face, because we know sometimes they don't smile. So
Yep.
just the one person where I was like, I'm making a difference here.
Yeah.
To that one person.
I've shared that many times on this, but that was the main reason I stopped teaching pump, because I couldn't get anyone to have a different facial expression apart from just staring straight at me. I was like, oh, come on, guys, it's pump. Like, you can at least smile. Nope. On the bike,
Yes.
however, that was totally different. I was a complete smartass in that room, and I'd get people talking to each other and breaking the ice and that kind of stuff. But in pump, when you had 30 or 40 people staring at you and they're all doing the same thing, and that face is just not smiling, they're just focusing on, shit, what's he doing? I've got to breathe too. Okay, yeah, right. Oh, that's heavy. I shouldn't have gone that too. All those emotions going through, but nothing on their faces at all.
That's me, and I do pump maybe once a year. My annual pump class, that's what we call it. Everyone knows it's just once a year, but the same. I'm literally the same. I'm just because I am so not in my comfort zone,
Yes.
and I am hurting from the warm up. So I'm that person in pump.
Love that.
This is the Group X podcast.
So you got through step. What was your next program? You said RPM.
RPM.
Yep. Are you still teaching RPM today?
No, because
No.
I discovered Sprint, and then I had a shiny new toy. So
Okay. Yep. Yep. I hear. I did training in sprint as well before I left Les Mills in Canberra, and yeah, it did. It did that for me as well because I stopped teaching RPM then and I went straight into sprint because it's hit on a bike. What more do I need to say? Most people
I
listening
love
will
it.
know, and those that don't, guys,
Yes,
it's hit on a bike. Get on it and give it a shot. If you haven't done it
we
yet,
love
you're
it.
going to be, yeah, you'll be pleasantly surprised at the outcome of what it
The,
is.
the
So,
thing for me was, and I speak quite openly about it because I think instructors need to understand when their time has come for a
yeah,
program. So for me, when I swapped to Sprint, the last few releases of RPM, I wasn't enjoying the way that I had before.
yep,
And I noticed even in the way that I introed the class, where I was like, I don't like half of these, or, and I thought, oh, why am I saying stuff like that out loud? Like,
yeah,
this is my time to stop now
yep.
because I'm not delivering on the class that it once was. I'm not giving it any love that it
Yeah.
should have. So the member experience had gone, and I had to really kind of pull myself out of it and say, it's time to go.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for saying that because it's something that I've touched on before, and I know there are a lot of instructors that just keep teaching and keep doing the same thing. And my big thing has always been, it's okay to break up with the program you're teaching. Yeah, it
Absolutely.
doesn't last forever. Yeah, if you have had enough, don't get on social media and bitch and whinge and moan and carry on. I see so many people in those Facebook groups that are, oh, would this release was shit, this is this. Stop teaching it.
Move on.
Find
Yeah.
another program. Find something else that's going to ignite your passion or reignite your passion, and then roll with it. Go with that. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much for saying that. I greatly appreciate that. There's somebody else out there that's holding that flag as well, and that message needs to get out more. That it's okay. Yeah, even if it was a program like as an example, if I decided to get back into teaching now, I haven't taught RPM for a while. I might decide to go back. It's okay to go back. Yeah,
It's always there.
but just
It's
break up
always
with it for now. If it's shitting you, stop.
there.
Like that. I think the last count I did, there was like 178 different programs that are available that we can do in a group exercise space. If you haven't broken up with one, to have a look at another. Hello. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have different relationships with those programs.
Exactly.
Combat is my marriage program.
Yep.
We're married, we're
Yep.
together till the end
Forever.
of time,
Yeah.
But RPM, it was my summer boyfriend.
Yeah. I love that. Yes.
Just
So,
fizzled out. Just fizzled out.
yeah. Yeah. It was what it was during summer, and then come
And it was a
come
great
autumn, you
time
were
we
like,
had together for a really long time, but that was
yeah.
it.
So you mentioned combat in that as well, yeah? Combat was your next one that you went to do?
Yes.
Yep.
Combat is my soul program. I love combat so much. I remember walking in to the mega workshops that we used to have back in the day, those
Yeah.
where everyone just came and there was crazy stage and lights and it was just insane. And they had on stage the amazing Anne-Marie Pistakakis, and she was presenting up there. It was Body Combat 36, I remember it, and it was just, I just walked in and I just was like, that's next.
Yep.
That's next. And I mustn't have even swallowed. I must have been just drooling on myself because I was so captivated by it all. And then I trained on 37. So,
What year was this that you trained on? How far back were we
God.
going?
Well, we're up to 100. So,
Holy moly, righto. Yep.
yeah, it was a
So,
long time ago.
yeah, back in the early
19, I must have been 19.
back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, yep, I think I was 19. So,
Okay. Righto. Yep.
I'm old. So,
Turn it up. What can you pinpoint what it was or what it is that has made you last so long with combat as a program?
I just love everything about it. Even the changes that combat's gone through, and it's never had a dramatic change. I've been a body step instructor since release 69 and we're on 136. So body step has had real dramatic changes. When the format's changed, it's changed, boom, and it's so different.
Yep.
Combat's been so gradual and
Yep.
it's almost sneaky in the way that it's done it, and I really like that. And I love all the innovations of combat. I love where the program's gone now. Even the music is not, everyone doesn't know all the songs, but I still love them.
Yep.
the way that it makes me feel, the way that I can deliver the program as well. It's such a emotional journey for me teaching combat. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Even on a bad day, I love combat.
So the first, let me show you this with you. The first ever body combat class I did was with Dorada, so Dee McNeil, who's from, and that was back in the days of North Sydney. I think she was a presenter back then, and this is, I'm going to say back 2003, 2004, maybe 2005, if I'm, around there somewhere anyway. Her and her husband James, and I walked into the room not knowing what I was in for. I was like, right, I got some time, I'm going to go in and do something. Didn't want to be on the gym floor, had enough of the bike room, let's go do something different. And I think they'd probably convinced me to get in there and give this a shot as well. Now, I had done a bit of boxing before, so I was used to hands up and punching, but punching when you hit something. Yep. So I'm used to connecting with something. I lost all coordination completely. Lost all coordination, and left was right and right was left, and it was all over the shop. And I just remember looking up and seeing Dee looking at me smiling, but then both Dee and James laughing their heads off at me because I was just all over the shop. But it was an experience that I'll never ever forget. That was just so different to anything I had done in the past. But yeah, being there with those people, that whole atmosphere and everything was just so very different. And I think I sort of get what when you say that, it's like a place that's like no other. Yeah. When you step into, you step in there and you've forgotten about everything else that's going on. You are there, you're in the moment, you're listening to it, you're doing it. And from what we've been chatting for maybe 15 minutes or so, what it is now, the connection that you have with people, I could see that in a room of people as well while you're exercising, which I think would be brilliant. And I understand why it suits you in a big way. So hey, don't stop, don't break up with it. You're not allowed. We're not going to let you.
No, till the death. Till the death. I'm going to be 80 and still
rocking it.
Yeah, for sure.
Roundhouses and a whole lot of
whatever my body can do.
Brilliant. So from there, you've obviously been teaching all that kind of stuff. How did the opportunity come up for you to be part of the trainer presenter team with Les Mills here in Australia?
So they had their boot camp that they have. So this is post-COVID. I've only been on the TAP team for 18 months. So they had their boot camp where you get an invitation to audition based off if you hold an advanced certificate or I'm assuming if you've been scouted as well, because I know they come to workshops and have a little look around. So I said, okay, again, what have I got to lose? I feel, if it had happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been emotionally ready for what I've had to go through on TAP now. So it definitely came at the right time for me. And I went through the 6-month process, which is, video auditions, live auditions, implementing your feedback straight away, all the things. And here I am, and it's been a hell of a journey in the last 18 months.
Thank you again for that. The self-realization that you knew you wouldn't have been ready previously. And I say this with hand on heart and with all absolute amount of respect that I can give to any instructor that's out there that has wanted to follow what you've done, follow that journey and be part of that journey, who for whatever reason hasn't been able to do it, or they were knocked back, or whatever the situation may have been. A lot of people don't realise that they're just not ready. They're not in that right space. Now, while they want it so badly in here, and they're like, I need this. This is what I want to do. I've got to do this. Then they get the shits when they get knocked back. I'll say to those people, don't give up. It just wasn't your time. Mm-hmm. When the timing's right and the stars align and all that kind of stuff happens, that it's shining in the right spot, you will be seen. Yeah. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen.
Absolutely. And it's quite a process. It's quite a process. And I think as well, I think about in my career as a young'un teaching, there was maybe too much arrogance and not, I didn't parade around and think I was the best, but I wouldn't have been able to take on feedback because I didn't think I could do wrong yet, and that's what, and you have to admit it because, we're veterans in this, and we can say that because there's a time where you kind of feel invincible and you're like, well, was the feedback really, did I really do that? And you question it. And then there comes a time where you get feedback and become really emotional about it, and you start crying and thinking, oh my God, I suck and everyone hates me. So, there's this maturity level, and it actually came after I had children that I mellowed out a little bit. I realized it's more inclusive. Even before I had kids, I was like, how come people aren't taking all the high options, But now I'm like, I just want people to move, and if people have feedback for me, I'm like, please, I want to be better. That's the difference, in that you're ready to grow. So if you ever get knocked back from an opportunity, there's a message in it that you need to kind of find what it is and then build onto that. And it could even be that you're not ready to take the feedback yet, or there's always something. Just look for the reason and keep moving forward.
Yep. Yes is all I can say to that. Yes. There's nothing more for Tony to add to that one. I would just go, you know what? She's nailed it. That's, cool. Look, thanks for coming on the show. See,
Thank you, yeah.
the mic drop of going, bang, here it is, people. Yeah, that, brilliant. Thank you so much. Yeah, the way you put that, I don't think I've heard it put that eloquently before or explained that well. So, thank you for sharing that with us. Now,
19-year-old me would be so proud right now.
Isn't it funny? We have kids, and then we do that whole, you can look back on your life and go, oh, if only I did things different, or wow, now I understand what that lesson was that I learned. It all sort of falls into place. And
I need to be responsible for tiny humans to realise.
I hear I'm hitting the 50 mark, and getting closer to that end. And Leah didn't come along until I was 40. So, that's still a fair chunk of life that I went through.
That is,
working out who I was. And, I partied. Let's be realistic. I partied for a good portion of my life. But once Leah come along, and we should say once I met Rach, things changed. It was like, wow, okay, got it. Oh, I've got an adult now. Yeah, okay, right. We've got to step up, because there's more to life than partying. We've got to do things, and everything changes. As you said, you teach differently, you approach things so differently, you understand things on a different level, instead of it all being, materialistic and I'm looking great, and next.
Yeah.
And
now, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The next thing I wanted to touch on with you was you're also a group exercise manager. Yep.
Yes.
Now, which club are you an exercise group X manager at?
Genesis in Bull Creek and Be Active in East Freo.
Okay, so two. So you're not just doing it once, you're split across the two different clubs, and your workload, I'm assuming, would be through the roof doing all that kind of stuff. Can you tell us about becoming a group exercise manager, how that opportunity came up for you, and what was it that really attracted you to want to go just from, hey, I'm an instructor, to, no, I think I can actually do this as a group X manager?
Well, circling back around to if you get knocked back for something, there's a reason. So this was actually the 4th time that I had applied to be a group fitness manager in my time of teaching, and I'd been rejected 3 times from all different clubs that I had applied at, clubs that I worked at, taught at, and always for a better candidate. And at the time, I always thought to myself, oh my God, I can't believe they got it over me. But I wasn't ready. I was not ready for the role. So I applied for the role. Danielle, that I took over from, she beat me the first time and she was in that role. And then she put my name forward as a recommendation when it was her turn to leave. And I got the role December 2019. And I just remember being over the moon, because it's what I wanted for so long, for so many years, just constantly was not able to get it. And there I was at Bull Creek, my first club.
Brilliant. And then 3 months later, the life turned to, we know what happened. It's that thing we don't sort of talk about too often, but we refer to it every now and then to go, that period of life.
I'm so grateful for it, because I stepped into a role in a club that was doing okay. It wasn't exceptional, it was okay. And then obviously we hit COVID, and I had to navigate a role that didn't exist yet and create a role that didn't exist. I had to learn how to build a group fitness community virtually because we couldn't be together. And the amount that I learned in leadership during COVID, I don't think you could learn that in any other way. That was
Yeah.
a crash course, and I'm so grateful for that time.
You're the first person that I've actually heard that has a positive spin on that period of time. A lot of people are still, oh, shit, that we all went through crazy. I appreciate the fact that you were able to see something and it helped you do what you're doing today, especially in the role that you're in. Yeah, because as a lot of people watching will understand, a group exercise manager's role is a hell of a lot more, as we know, than just finding a cover, updating a timetable, and doing pays. You know, there is a hell of a lot more. Unfortunately, the industry still sees it as just those 3 or 4 things that we should still be doing, you know, and haven't moved past that and onto a whole range of skills that we've got. And I appreciate you actually sharing and saying as well that while you were in the role and you were happy as in December, that, you know, then come February or January, February or March, whatever it was, it all got turned upside down. You had to step up, step in, and re-navigate, or, you know, navigate for the first time this new whatever we were going into back then. There's a skill set that no one was equipped with at all to walk into that. My hat's off to you for getting through it and navigating through that kind of stuff as well. Can you pinpoint, though, what it was that attracted you to want to become a Group X manager? What was it that was that shining light type thing that went, hey, I want to do that?
My love for group fitness. I wanted to lead the ship.
Yep.
I wanted to make I feel when you are an instructor for so long as well, you feel all the things that you feel don't quite, you know, come to your expectation from the gym or the company or the business or whatever. There's all these little things that you expect more from. And so I felt like it was my time to kind of give back and put in that way.
Yeah. No, I understand it completely. I get it. And I think there's a lot of probably people out there that will gel with that as well, because I believe there's 2 different types of Group X managers. God, this is going to be
controversial. I love it. Bring it on. All of that.
People that are going to be pissing off with me right now. I can see the hate comments being typed in and the smashing on the keyboard. But there's Group X managers that want to do it, that, like you, have a passion and want to go, you know what, I want to make a difference. I want to lead. I want to push this forward. And then there's others that go, well, I just need to be idolized and I need to be, don't you know who I am? You know, and there's people looking at the TV now trying to smash shut at the TV. I don't care, because it's true. Yeah, they're only getting the shits because it's true, and I'm touching a raw nerve with them in that way. There's Group X managers that care, and there's Group X managers that do it because, well, I get paid 20 hours a week, cool, I'll do that, and really I'm only going to do the basics anyway. I'll say that their Group X timetable or their environment or their culture, community in their gym sucks and probably doesn't work as well it should be, and Group X is suffering in that space. I know that it's not in your gym. I've done my research before you and I had a bit of a chat and found a few things out as well. But I know that a lot of that will come from you and from what you've had to build, from starting from scratch. Like, we all had to virtually do everything. You know, yes, we had some instructors come back. A lot didn't know. A lot didn't. A lot turned around and went, no, I can't have no stability. I need an income coming in. I've got a mortgage or I've got whatever it may be. So they went out to do something different in that way. Can you give me a brief overview or a rundown on what a typical week would look like for you as a Group X manager?
That's a good one.
I've thrown you on the spot with that one.
It depends on where we are in our calendar as well. Like, if we're coming into launches, that week is chaotic. My beautiful boss Jackie, she has a saying: "Don't talk to Shiv before launches," and everyone leaves me alone. Organizing my team for that, we always go hard for launches. There is the occasional finding the class cover. My instructors pretty much do most of that themselves. There is the payroll, but for me, it's the community with my instructors. It's building that bond with my team. So when they need me, I'm available for them. When they have a concern, I want to be all ears for it. I want to listen to it. There's a problem with this, or I'm not vibing this time slot, or this, whatever it is. What can we do? And it's about being available for them, building the community within the gym, you know, being available for the members as well, because they're the consumer, and if we don't have them, we don't have a job. And
Yep. Yep.
so
Yep.
it's a lot of groundwork, actually. It's a lot of buzzing around.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I think that's one thing that some people out there don't quite get with relation to group exercise management. You know, you have to wear many hats. You have to have many hats on. You need to learn how to, like, you know, being those guys that juggle the plates on those sticks. Yeah, and they're all spinning at the same time. You've got to make sure that not one of them drops, because if one drops, the whole thing can happen. You have to keep things. You have to keep your eye on the ball the whole time. You mentioned a few things there. One about your instructors and making sure you're always there for them. And I think that is absolutely vital for what we do as a Group X manager, as well as making sure that you're listening to your members. Yeah, we don't have members. We don't have classes. As simple as that. Yeah, we can put classes on, but okay, yeah, there's no members. Great. Well,
We kind of need
classes,
them.
but, you know, yeah, I know it sounds like it's common sense and it sounds like a stupid thing to say, but I think sometimes we need to address that type of stuff as the basic stuff to be able to say to up-and-coming Group X managers, or even those that have been doing it for a while, that get complacent and just think, oh, this is what I do. There is more that we should be doing, you know. And the one thing that you mentioned that really hits in here for me is that communication. Having the conversation with your team is so vital. Being open, being approachable, you know, having that open door policy where they can walk into your room at any time, you know, or pick the phone up and call you at any time. That's what creates such an amazing culture, which then has a flow-on effect to your members, which then has a flow-on effect to the club being successful in that regards, you know. Give me a challenge that you've actually faced in group exercise management.
There's always
And
so
how
many.
you sort of overcome it. Is that just try and pick one that is a God, this almost sounds like a job
I
interview,
know. Oh, God.
it is a left field that because I ask this because I know that there are a lot of Group X managers out there that would have challenges and don't have that skill set. You know, part of what I'm trying to do with all this is get people to share experiences so that we can learn and pass that information on to others as well. So, hey, can you think of something where I'll say it hit the fan and you needed to sort everything out that you can share with us and how you went about it?
I'm pretty blessed. I have a really incredible team. I think the hardest thing that I've ever come across in my time is actually when I have someone in my team who is not as committed as the rest. And you know, I look at my team as they are either A players, B players, or C players. So the A players are the instructors who cover whenever they can. They go above and beyond. They're always in the room after class having a chat with the members. They know everyone's name. They know what's going on. You know the people that they are. They deliver these incredible classes, but they also deliver on the community with their class. The B players, they come in, deliver these classes. They might not stay after. That's all good. They don't have to. They don't often cover unless they, you know, it's me begging them. And the C players come and go. That's all they are. They're just in and out. They don't care who anyone is in the class. They just want to get their check and go. I can't have C players on my team. So the hardest thing for me is when I see people drop into that category, firstly trying to identify if they can be pushed back up to the B or the A, because that's what I need. And if not, it's that hard conversation in saying, we can't have this anymore. It doesn't work for the club.
Yeah. I thank you. I appreciate that as well. I think the part of that I picked up was especially the last sentence you said, that you've got to have those hard conversations. You've got to be able to look at your team, and while that person could be your best mate, if they've dropped into C, you need to be able to say, hey, oi. Not on. We're best mates, but you've got to have those hard, tough conversations because you are the CEO of Group Exercise in your gym. They are the CEO of the Group Exercise class that they teach. I look at it as everybody has their role that they've got to do. You've got to report to others. They've got to report into you. Now, I can guarantee you that if Jackie saw you failing at something she'd be having the hard conversation with you to say, hey, Shiv, what's going on here?
Yes.
Yeah. Why have we dropped from 8,000 visits, making silly numbers up here, 8,000 visits this month to 4,000? What the hell's going on here? Sorry, I was close, wasn't I?
So close, yeah,
No.
absolutely. That's our group fitness stats right there.
But she'd have the hard conversation with you, and that's as a Group X manager. We also need to we also need to have the skill set to have those hard conversations with everybody. You know, we need to have the hats on every single manager, because you, as a Group X managers, we're speaking to, I don't know how big your team is, 30, 40, 50 instructors, whatever it may be. Every one of them has a different personality.
That's right.
And you need to understand that personality. You need to understand how to manage that individual person. But also, as you're saying, realise when your A falls into a B or your B falls into a C, how to kick them swiftly to get them back into line where they need to be. Or, in some cases, if you're not the right fit, you're not the right fit. That's okay.
Yeah.
You can, there, as I was saying before, there are other programs you can teach. Not only that, there are other gyms you can go and teach at where you might be a better fit at that demographic or in that gym for you.
Yes.
You know, there's always different ways that we can find something to actually jump into there. Let me ask this question. Apart from the passion you have for group exercise, what aspects of group exercise management do you find most fulfilling?
This is, again, has just come in the last, I guess, maybe two or 3 years. Definitely through that COVID period of everything that we had to do when we were, you know, live streaming. I had a really small team that were helping during that period of time. And now, you know, every quarter we do these insane launches. And I think it's maybe come from my time on TAP team as well, that I draw a lot of inspiration from everything that I do in my leadership role. But the biggest thing for me is that a leader leads from the back and not the front. So yep. I always thought that a leader was at the front of the ship, but I know I stand behind the team. So it's now for me where when we launch Body Combat, for example, it gives me such pleasure to just shadow my girls who present it at the club. And of course, everyone says, well, you're the combat presenter, so you should be teaching it. I just want to enjoy them doing it. I just want to see them doing it. I mentored those girls to be who they are and where they are, and they've put in all the work from there. Let them shine. And just letting the team come through and be who they are, and nothing makes me happier than watching them do that.
It's funny you say that. I recorded the podcast yesterday with Beck Haynes, who's the Group X manager at the Gap Racket and Health Club up in Queensland. And she said the exact same. Yeah. She doesn't want to be that one that everybody else holds her up. She wants to be the one that's holding everybody else up, because that's when you shine as a manager, as a person yourself. When you look back and you can see your team smashing it, hitting the mark out there, and people are like, wow, oh my God, how did you do that? They turn around and they just point or smile and go, yeah, I had a great mentor. I had a great manager that actually helped me get to there. You know, that's what you want to be able to do. And I think in everybody's role or everybody's position in the fitness industry, especially in a group exercise management role, you want to almost put yourself out of a job by having everybody else around you be as good, if not better than you, and them shining, so that you can then step away and go, cool, you know what? If I had to step away for whatever reason, I know you can step in. You can do it. That's when you know, as a manager and yourself, you've nailed it and gone, yeah.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they are, and that's where the team is as well. Like, if I go away for a week at a time, I don't even have to put anyone in my position to look after them, because that's how freaking amazing they are. Everyone just gets it done, and they go, well, Shiv's not here, we're gonna all step up, and they all do, and that's nothing makes me prouder. I'm like crying thinking about these people. Like, they're amazing. I love them, all of them.
They're my babies. They're out there. They're doing their thing. And I think you've got an amazing team as well when you can step away from a bit and have it still function and do what it's got to do. Yeah, you've earned their respect. They've got yours. You've got theirs. They just know what needs to be done. And that's a well-oiled machine. You know, there are a lot of clubs that I've dealt with and a lot of people that I've spoken to over the years that don't have that and can't get it. You know, they don't know how to actually implement certain things or how to create that as such. And one thing that I believe needs to happen is, yes, every group exercise manager should be doing the Les Mills group fitness management seminar that's online. Yeah, every single manager should go through and do it, because it gives you your foundations. It gives you those 8 keys that you work through to get an understanding on what we do in this space. But then what I'll say to everybody that is a Group X manager out there, if you are on that journey and you get stuck in something, reach out. Reach out to another Group X manager. Reach out to your manager in the club. Reach out to anybody, yeah? Find someone to have a conversation with, to bounce ideas off them, because this is group exercise, yeah? There's no right or wrong in what we're doing. There is only the way that works for you and works for your club. Now, I'll say that the way that works for you and at Genesis at Bull Creek could be different to the way it works for Tony here at the Leisure Centre down the road, because 1, our members are different. 2, our instructors are different. 3, it's a different culture. Yeah, all those things are different. But my point being is that we need to be able to share our experiences and reach out for help when we can. I mean, let me ask you this question. If a Group X manager from another state, or even one of your other clubs in Perth there, reached out to you for a conversation about Group X, would you be open to having a conversation with them?
Absolutely. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. And I love that as well, because that's, to me, is the biggest thing we can be doing now, is passing on our knowledge. Yeah. Are you going to be here in 18 years' time? I mean, okay, you said you were going to be teaching combat.
Yes, I will be.
But there'll come a time where you will want to stop or step away, or something will happen and you will step away for whatever reason. If we don't pass our knowledge on, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
Yeah?
And
I definitely don't want to think about what would happen if we don't band together with group exercise, continue to push and continue to make it as important, and make sure that it's being spoken about more often and given the attention that it deserves more often, because it's what helped me through my life and has been a massive part of the last 25 years of what I do. As I'm saying for you as well, you know, when you were from 16, when you jumped in, it's been that huge part. While it's fulfilling for us to do what we're doing, I think it's also part of us being able to hand on to the next generation or others to make sure that we can tick their boxes.
yeah, we want it to be around forever.
Yeah, it has to,
Yes.
doesn't it? It can't not
Please.
be. This is the Group X podcast. Shiv, instructor recruitment is probably one of the biggest issues that the industry still has today. Talk to me about instructor recruitment in Perth. What's the good things? What's the bad things? What is happening over there that needs to change, or that you're doing over there?
Instructor recruitment's been a hot topic over here recently. And I think that what I hear from a lot of other GFMs is, well, it's quite divided, but what I hear is that it's an industry problem.
Yep.
I truly believe that it's a club problem and not an industry problem. In the last, it's controversial. For example, in the last 8 months, I've certified 25 sprint instructors in Perth. So they're around. There are instructors around.
Yep.
What I think is, and I'm going to say this as a GFM so that people know that I'm saying it from the next level up, not as the GFI, as the GFM. Pre-COVID, the clubs held all the power. If I wanted this on my timetable, that's how it went. If I wanted to pay you this rate, that's the rate. And you as the instructor, that's your agreement to it. That's all you can get, right? Remember when you had to wait for somebody to die before you could get a class? Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Post-COVID, the instructor has all the power. That is the industry shift. So when I recruit, GFIs come to me with a checklist. How much do you pay? What programs do you have? What is your timetable? What is the flexibility around your timetable? Do you have smart tech? What is the sound system like? What is the stage like? What is your community like? What are your members like? How many on average do you get to the club? How many on average do you get to the class? This is a checklist. And I can give all those answers to the instructor and they can still say, maybe not. Because something didn't tick the box. There was one thing.
Yeah.
So when a GFM says, I can't get anyone to teach at my club, you need to look at your club. Because at my club, I don't have any problems with instructor recruitment. I have plenty of instructors, and a cover goes up and it gets covered within 10 minutes. It's all good. But other clubs that I teach at, a cover can sit there for a week and then it gets cancelled. Another club down the road from me doesn't have a problem either. So I do truly believe that there's a problem at the club, and that's where it needs to, what we need to look at. And one of them is, are we paying our instructors accordingly? The gap in the pay from one club to another is massive. And instructors should be picky. They should be saying, well, in this economy and in this way of life at the minute, I'm not going to roll over for less than, and put a value on you. And that's, I truly, truly believe that there's that. And I truly believe the other problem is clubs not caring about their programs. And this comes down to the blame, I see it all the time, comes back onto Les Mills. The trainings are too expensive, or the trainings are too hard, or whatever it is. That is not the case. The case is that your club, or you as a club, this is the owner, the manager, the person who invests into group fitness. This is their problem. So not necessarily the GFM either, because they don't financially invest. Let's say, for example, that your club cannot find a body step instructor. We know what that program is. It's niche. If you have a body step license and you have at least one class on the timetable, that is exceptional. It is in your best interest to invest in that program, or you'll lose the license. So why can't the club pay to hold the module? You can. You can email Les Mills and say, how many spots do I need to pay for to host this module? And then ask your instructor team, I have free spots. Who wants to come and train? And I guarantee you'll fill those spots. And don't ask for anything back. You've just helped each other. And we at Bull Creek, we had this problem in Reformer Pilates. We have Reformer Studio. When we first opened, we couldn't get Reformer instructors because we don't pay the same rate that they get paid at studios. And I can't offer them 5 classes in a row because it's run like group fitness. So Jackie, who owns the franchisee of Genesis, we had a big conversation. And that's what it came down to. How much are we willing to invest into Reformer Pilates to make it work for the club? This is a premium membership. Jackie paid for 3 spots for us to put through who we felt was going to be the perfect person to do the Reformer training.
Do the training.
We had members. I announced it in class. A member came straight up. I'm keen. Awesome. What's your email address? I'm going to sign you up straight away. A free Reformer training. And for anyone who says Les Mills trainings are expensive, Reformer training is very expensive. And she paid for 3 spots, and those girls that trained still teach at our club 2 years later. She never asked for the money back. Nothing. So
I love the fact that you think left of the norm when it comes to that kind of stuff, especially with recruitment. Yes, I'll be controversial with you as well with that. I still believe the industry needs to step up. We don't really have a governing body in our industry. There is FitRec, there is AusActive, there's the yoga ones, there's whatever it may be. There's a whole lot of them. They're all private organisations. There's not one of them that's a real government body as such. They're all trying to do the same thing, and I think, yes, we're moving forward with that. One day we'll get there, but we're not there yet. They need to step up in order to, I believe, almost regulate what the pays are. Now, I don't want to go into what instructors get paid and what they should be paid and all that kind of stuff, because we could probably do a 52 episode series on that for Group X and have so many different people. I probably will, as I said in the episode that's coming out soon, that we need to get a round table together of industry leaders and group exercise managers from around the place and sit down and discuss and work something out and then try and move that forward as well. But we'll park that for right now. The concept that you just spoke on then was stepping outside of I don't have any. They come to you with a list of questions. I think that's the way a group exercise instructor needs to present themselves when they're coming to work for a club. It's not, oh, hi, I'm available. Here's my CV. This is what I teach, blah, blah, blah. No, sit down, have the conversation with the group exercise manager and ask the questions like you were saying they just asked. What's your culture like? How much is the pay? What classes have you got? How often? What is your attendance like? All of that kind of stuff. Because if they don't fit, they're not going to fit.
Yeah.
Make it work for you. Make it work for your team. Allowing a group exercise instructor to come to you as a group exercise manager and ask all those questions also helps you understand more about them than they realise. Yeah, you can give them all the answers they want, but it allows you to see a different personality of them rather than just you asking the questions on how do you do this, what do you do this, yeah, okay, and see if they're the right fit in that regards. If they've got enough courage, enough oomph to get up and come and have that style of conversation, I'd almost say that, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, they're happy to work for you.
Yeah.
They're not going to come to you in the first place if they hadn't already done a little bit of research around what is this club. Yeah, okay, cool, it's close to home, but they've done a little bit more as well. But the fact that you allow them to have that conversation, I think, is great. There are, as you mentioned, there are ways and ways that we can get instructors on board. Yeah, as a club, you can offer to pay for their training. You know what? If you can't afford it long term, you want them to pay it back in some way, sit down and have a conversation with that instructor. Hey, you know what? We can pay it all up front, but I'm going to need you to pay half of it back or whatever. As long as you're having an open conversation, there are going to be some instructors out there that will turn around and go, nah, you need to pay for it all. I'm not paying any of that, not paying it back, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's going to be those that, what I call the moths, that come, they're the light, and then they piss off again. They're gone. They don't last long in the industry. And, 23 years, I've seen that many come and go. It's not funny, But they're those that hang around, that have been around for a long time, are the real ones. And you learn over time who they are and who they're not, and the type of personality that they are as well. But if you are at a club that is struggling to get instructors and you have got a budget that you can throw towards training in some way, and as you said, contact the provider. Hey, what's it going to cost to get a trainer out here? And what's good? Cool, you may be able to get a trainer out for, like, say, $2,500, but you could have also 20 people go through that training at the same time. So when you think about what you've spent to get that out compared to, hello, brilliant, this has actually worked for us. Have that conversation. Don't sit back and just assume, or don't sit back and get shitty about something. Approach it differently, as you've done as well, to go, hey, there's an issue, we can sort this out. Are there any particular programs in WA that you'd say would be having more issues than others? And what do you think the reason is behind that as well?
I feel, body steppers are a rare breed these days. I think it's because a lot of clubs drop the license, and the clubs that do have it are plentiful in instructors. At Bull Creek alone, we've got 7 body step instructors. We've nurtured all of those, Chids and I, from, that they're our babies. and we love them all very much. But I think the program has gone through quite a few format changes, so it is one of those programs, but it is at now, I think, probably the best format it's ever had. So clubs need to start revisiting it and put the license back on and invest into it. It's such an amazing program. I think that one struggles a lot, and I see the same clubs asking for body step instructors, the same boring old post that goes up for it. There's nothing there that would entice anybody. You have to really come forward now and decide. You obviously want the program at your club. You're looking for people, so help them come through.
Have you seen over in Western Australia not a decline in instructors training? You said there's 25, but I suppose, are we seeing more younger instructors coming through, or is it just the same instructors retraining in different programs?
I guess I can only say for, because I do the sprint trainer role, but I've had a mix of both. So in the modules that I've run, and I mean, I've only been flying solo for a very short period of time, but I was shadowing with Ian for quite a few modules.
Yep.
It was a mixture. We did do a Good Life one, just Good Life instructors, so they were all
Yep.
programs.
Yep.
But the other ones, I'd say half and half of those that
Okay.
teach
Yep.
multiples and those that are brand
Yep.
spanking new. Because it's a
Brand new.
great program
Yep.
to start with. It's really easy to learn, and it's not. Yeah,
Good
it's,
plug. Good plug. Yeah.
you know, if you think you're training in sprint, it's really easy. You'll just vomit all over
Les Mills,
yourself,
did you see that?
but it's great.
So I had to chuck that in there. You were doing so well with that, and I was like, no, no, no. There's a plug. I've got to put that in. That's a great plug.
I got
Yeah.
to be real about it too. But and I think body pump is always quite plentiful. Body balance is quite plentiful.
Yep.
And then as well, I think the online modules, and you know, I don't want to take anything away from them because you know they have their purpose and they're what they do. But for me personally, I prefer face-to-face modules. So I have put out to the universe that I would train in body attack just for lols.
Yep.
But I'm just gonna, you know, just to see if my knees can handle it, and I will, you know, I want to do a face-to-face one. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. You know how before you were saying that you do a pump class once a year and it was your annual
Yeah.
pump class? Yeah. Back in the day, that was me. That was me with attack. Yeah. It was the one attack class because Rach was trainer presenter and I was like, righto, yeah, here I go. Yeah. She's close to Christmas time. Let's go. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Not built for me. I'm not built for that program at all. So I was like, right, I need 4 weeks to recover before I do anything. That was my one of class. That program was my nemesis of, you know what? No.
I just love the hey bit. That's my favorite. I just wait the whole class to do the hey. Then I've had my moment.
When I was doing it was back when you walk forward, clap, and walk back and clap, and yeah, there was just a whole lot of enjoyment going on, and it just always would take me back to the old days of Grapevine, you know, and the old shack Grapevine, and having a whole lot of fun, and yeah, we'll leave that one alone. But,
I'd love to see you in a body attack class. I think it would be fabulous.
yeah, hell no. No. I'll ride a stationary bike that goes nowhere, and we're good. Yeah, that's where we'll leave it.
This is the Group X podcast.
Shiv, I want to talk to you about we touching on recruitment as well. The cover process, finding covers for classes and that kind of stuff. How is that done in WA? What are you seeing most clubs using? What platforms are they using? What sort of talk us through the process if you can.
So most people would just use the Facebook group. I think that, you know, we've gone from the days of the contact list where we're all in the Facebook group now. Everyone posts their cover and they'll just tag everyone that they can. But from what I can see from different establishments is straight away you can see your instructor community, how strong they are together based off how quickly people are responding onto that. Because in some clubs, it just sits there, nothing happens. Nobody's acknowledging it. You can see who's seen it because it tells you on the post, seen by, 50 people, no comment.
Yeah.
And I think, that's when you know that there might be a bit of an issue.
Yep. Do you think that people don't, and I suppose that the reason I asked this is I had a conversation with somebody late last night, which really made me giggle in a big way because they use a WhatsApp group and there's always one person that will always turn around and go, I'm really sorry, I can't teach. I'm really sorry, I'm unable to help you with that one. This person was saying to me, Tony, I don't give a shit if they can't teach. I'm not at all interested in reading something that says, sorry, I can't teach. Or those that come back after the event, 4 or 5 hours after or the next day.
I didn't see this.
I couldn't talk. Yeah, it's like, okay, to me, there's issues with that. There's either instructors you should just be responding to say yeah or don't. Yeah. I would look at that when you're saying you can see some clubs out there that they don't get any response at all. I wonder whether that is due to timetabling issues, due to the fact that that class is on at a time when most other instructors are already teaching, or is it a venue that is a bit too far away for some instructors? What do you feel that it might be in that regards, or is it just seriously you think it's a culture issue when that gym just has no?
Well, I don't want to be controversial, so I'll try to
Yeah,
word this really. I'm going to word this really carefully, okay? I'm not going to say any
Yep.
names. Let's say that there's a cover at Gym A and they pay really well and you like it there, but there's a cover at Gym B for the same time and they don't pay well. I'm not available at Gym B. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
And even if I'm a permanent instructor at Gym B, I'm not going to stick my neck out for them if I don't like the way that I'm treated in club. Maybe I hold my class because I very much enjoy those members, but I'm not going to go above them. Maybe I'm just a B player or a C player at that club and nobody's picked up on it. Nobody cares because they're so desperate for instructors.
I like that.
It's controversial. I'm trying to be so good.
No, look, the way that you said that is it approaches very diplomatically a situation that obviously is relevant out there in the industry. Yeah. And a lot of people know from this, the other company I'm working for, Cover Me, is the app designed to help with this problem as well. And the app does exactly do that. Yeah. The app will only send out notifications to those instructors for that are trained in that program that are available at that time. Yeah. What instructors also have the availability to do in the app is to set a base rate that they don't want notifications from for anything under this. So let's just say I want $50 a class. Yeah. And as we're saying, Club B out there doesn't pay $50 a class. I'm not going to get notified that that club needs a cover. Yeah. That in itself is going to help lift the industry up a little bit because that club will then start to realise, oh, hang on a second, maybe we are paying a little bit below what we should be if we want to get decent instructors in here. Yep. Now, what the app doesn't allow it to do is actually allow me to dictate to every single club what I want to be paid. That still needs to be a conversation between myself and the Group X manager for what it is. But when it's come to covers and that kind of stuff, if I haven't set that level correctly, you know, I may be an instructor that goes, cool, let me know everything above $20. I'll go teach. I'm Tony. I'll teach everywhere. I love this industry. I love everything about it. No matter what, you know what? If it's body attack, yeah, cool. I'll go learn it. I'll go do it. No, I didn't. But you get what I'm saying with that. You know, it allows us to actually work and manage everything. Now, the good thing, I suppose, with the app, and we're talking about with the WhatsApp and the Facebook groups as well, the app works just for your closed user group. So for you as a Group X manager, it's only going to be your instructors for your team that are actually included in that closed user group. It's not going to get someone that is 35 kilometres away. Yeah, it's only going to be those. But not only does it send a message immediately, it stops the, oh, sorry, babes, I can't teach. Oh, dull, I could have done that. Damn, oh, you know what? It stops all that kind of stuff going on. But also, because it's a message that comes through on your phone, you only get it if you're available. So it stops a whole lot of other, and as we've seen in the WhatsApp groups, and I don't know if it's in the Facebook groups as such, but someone starts a thread, next thing you know, there's 4 other people that have said something as well, and you've got to scroll all the way back to go, oh, what was it relation to in the first place? Yeah. Oh, it was a cover that was needed at 4:30. Oh, shit, it's 20 minutes away. That kind of stuff just disappears altogether. So it allows all that kind of stuff to help. I suppose I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think that there's clubs out there that would be interested in that style, in that app, in that format that is out there that's going to help them? Or do you think clubs would just be stuck going, no, man, we're happy with what happens in the Facebook groups and the WhatsApp groups?
I think the question that clubs need to ask is the value of their GFM. So is your GFM a payroll lady and a cover lady, or is your GFM there to innovate group fitness and create an incredible community? Because if you can take something away from their workload, and then they can invest that time into something else. So how much do you care about the role of your group fitness manager?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that as well. Obviously, I'm biased because managing director for the app here in Australia, I'm going to try and push it in every angle that I possibly can. But you touched on there is that the app is designed to free up your time as an instructor. It's 23 seconds from the time that I enter details into the time it goes out. Yeah. You as a Group X manager, you find out that Tony can't teach. He's posted online. You can see who can apply for it. You can actually choose as the Group X manager so that you're not always getting Tony's best friend covers every time Tony's sick. Yeah. Your members might hate Tony's best friend, but you find out what's going on and you can manage your team in that way. If that takes away 5-10 hours a week or whatever it is, depending on your club and how many covers you need to have, that allows you as a Group X manager to, well, let's just throw some things out there. What does a Group X manager do apart from the pays, finding covers and updating a timetable? What should they be doing? Yeah, looking at the reports, looking at your figures, looking at all that kind of stuff, drilling into it properly so you can actually report on it properly and set proper targets, as an example. Now, so many clubs that I speak to still don't have proper targets set. Their target is the capacity of the equipment they've got. Oh, we've got 40 bikes, so every cycle studio, every time a class is on, it has to get 40 people. Yeah. The pump equipment, the smart tech equipment upstairs, we've got 50 bars, so we need 50 people every single time. Looking at that and getting Group X managers to understand how to set those targets. That's something that they can free up their time to do. But assessing instructors.
Yeah.
Yeah. How, as a Group X manager, how often do you assess your team?
My team? I don't need to.
Tish, I love that.
My team is just so fabulous, and I know I keep tooting their horn, but that's the reason they're on my team. I don't need to. I don't have problems. I don't get complaints. I don't. It's always the most beautiful things about them, and they're the team that I trust. If anything happens and I cannot be there, I know it's in good hands. Plus, we have, we do a team building when we can, so we'll teach for each other. We do launches. I see them at workshops, so I know that they're interested in upskilling. That's all I need to know from my team.
Yep. No, I appreciate what you're saying. What I'm going to challenge you on, though, is I'm going to say to you, go and assess them. Out of the blue. Walk in. Now, I'm not saying assess them, sit down and go, oh, really? Yeah, and scrutinise them. Walk in, because everybody, you included, loves getting some feedback.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's how we learn. I mean, as trainer presenter, you guys have to do your own training, assessor feedback frequently. Yeah, every quarter. You've got to sit down, you've got to, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'd say. Everybody, every instructor, you've got an amazing team. Try and fit it into what you're doing as well, or even try and get your instructors to assess each other in some way to give some form of feedback, because it's always going to help. It's always going to be beneficial in some way.
Yeah.
You can sit there for 10 minutes and I can give you two things. One's going to be amazing and one's go, hey, Shiv, maybe try this. Yep. As an instructor, if I've been teaching for 20 years, oh, wow. Shiv has seen something that I haven't seen because I put on autopilot when I get in. Yeah. There could be some words I'm saying over and over and over again every single time, which I'm sure I probably do in here that I haven't really realised in myself as well. But it's one of those things where you can always be able to do it. And as a part of the app is to free you up to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure compliant. Well, compliance, the other big issue that the industry, I think, still has. The app takes care of compliance for us as well. The app, every instructor needs to upload their certificates. Yeah, it's going to remind the instructor when CPR's due, when first aid's due, when your fitness rego's due, whatever else it is going to be letting you know. But it's one place for you to house everything. You take a photo of it, you upload it. You as a Group X manager, as soon as you find a new instructor to come on board, you can see their details straight away. You don't need to worry about the compliance stuff anymore, because you're going to see when they're non-compliant, because they're not going to be able to use the app. As soon as the app goes 30 days out, we'll notify you. Then every 7 days, we notify you up until the last day. We notify you every day to say, hoi, if you haven't uploaded this certificate by this day, you're going to be locked out.
Yep.
Yeah. Locked out meaning you can't teach. You can't actually find a cover. You can't do anything because the app's going to say no. Yeah. For a Group X manager to have that freedom, and as you're saying, I think you almost rolled your eyes when I said compliance there.
The bane of my existence.
It is a nightmare. It is, freeing that up for a Group X manager every month as well gives you more time to, walk the floor, go and have a chat to your members, stand at reception and help scan people in. I used to love doing that on a Friday afternoon. Yeah, Friday afternoon in North Sydney in a corporate area, there was hardly any members that would come in, but I'd be cheeky. We had 2 classes on, people on the gym floor, and then there's the whole cardio section. I'd stand there and swipe people in. What are you doing today? They'd be looking at me as if say, what? You're just on reception. No. I'm the Group X manager. I want to know what you're doing and what talk to them and get to know them. It's an opportunity for us as Group X managers to, at any stage, walk the gym floor. walk past your Group X room, give your instructor a wave or give your members a wave or whatever it may be, walk into the room, walk to the back of the room and walk back out again. They're going to look and go, what? Hello. Your instructors are also going to go, oh, wow, there's Shiv. Yeah, hi. And especially if you have a good relationship with them as well, and you've done that, they're going to be like, yeah, sweet. Some of them will probably turn around afterwards and go, what'd you come in for?
Oh, they were.
Yeah, why did you, what's wrong? What did you come in for? What have I done? What's happening? Nothing. I just wanted to come in to show you some love, approaching things differently, but giving you the time to actually be able to do what we should be doing to build the culture. But sit down and work on social media stuff. Sit down and work on your marketing stuff. Sit down and work on, as you do, as Jackie says, don't talk to Shiv when you've got lead up to quarterlies, that kind of stuff, and allow you that time to do what you've really got to do. So I would say to more and more clubs, jump on, have a look, see what it is, get in contact with me if you're interested with that kind of stuff, and hopefully we can see more of that sort of happening in the future as well. So, Shiv, is there anything that you and I haven't touched on with relation to Group X management that you want to pass on words of wisdom to any other Group X manager or even instructors that are watching at the moment?
I don't know. I think just for where we are, I want instructors to know their value. Be picky and go where you feel the most appreciated, the most valued, where you're the happiest, because that's where you deliver the best. And then for group fitness managers, appreciate your team and love them, because without them, you don't have a job, you don't have group fitness, you don't have a culture. And I think as well, if you're looking to grow group fitness at your club, you need to be open to new ideas.
Yeah.
Let's not live in yesterday's ideas, because they don't help with tomorrow at all.
Yeah, so true. Thank you for that. Thank you for coming on, spending an hour or so of your afternoon with me and having a chat about something that you're so passionate about. The last thing I want to say here is, guys, if you need help with group exercise stuff, reach out to myself or to Shiv. If you can't get in contact with Shiv, if you're not from WA and you want to reach out, get in touch with me through the Group X website. I will get you in contact with Shiv if you want to have a conversation. But there'll be show notes down there on how you can get in contact with both of us anyway. But Shiv, thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And keep being you, man. Get out there and
Thank
keep
you
rocking.
so much for having me. It was a pleasure.